But just a moment though, when the CBN governor says that, you know, the effect of the TSA on liquidity has been moderate, what does he mean by that?
Well, that is in his own estimation. Like I said, if you take about 1.3 trillion or 2.67, whatever the figures, the net effect is that you put back about 35 to 40% of that back into the system. There is still a huge gap of almost 65%.
So when you see that cut down on CRL from 31% to 25%, is that good enough?
Well, it isn't, because like I said, the combination of the cut down on CRL and then the refund of the extra that you are taking out of the economy, in terms of, it comes to about 35% of returning whatever it is back to the banks.
So it's not that significant.
There's still a 65% gap, about 65% gap that needs to be filled. And you must understand that most of these banks, especially the big ones, have put most of these monies out with companies or in investments, loans and all that.
Can we tie the forex restriction to all of this?
Well, to an extent, yes. You must remember that there is still about $1.5 billion cash also sitting in the vaults of bank, useless to anyone, because nobody is able to do anything with it. It will be like that for a while. People are waiting on the valuation or whatever, so that they could bring out this money and buy. But there's no naira really to pay, even if they were to do that. There isn't enough naira to chase after this. Like I said, a whole month's allocation of FAC is sitting down in the vault, doing nothing. All right? And this will continue for a while, for as long as CBN insists, or the government insists on making sure that the naira is not devalued. Nobody is going to bring them out. You cannot transfer them out. You cannot do anything with them. And these are monies that should have gone towards, about 500 billion naira should have gone towards, funding the real sector over the past 12 months.
So you see no way that the CBN is going to escape devaluation?
It's going to be very difficult. It will be a very tough fight. And it has never helped any economy in the long run. You have to free the forces to, market forces to allow it, do what it has to do. It is a very tough business. See what the Chinese yuan had to go through, despite all the monies that the government threw at it. It still affected the whole basket of different currencies around the world. And you cannot insist that I will control the market forces, I will control my policies, and I will control how people or how systems react to what you're doing, especially when most of these things are not within your control.
Yeah. Now, you talked about the manufacturers, sorry to interrupt you, but there is you being in the manufacturing business, quite a number of people have complained about the CBN policy on foreign exchange earnings or even dollars, trying to get them. How has it affected the real sector business?
I'll tell you this. I'm actually in the service sector, but we also have quite a bit of business to do in the FX space. Now, we just recently acquired, about 6 months ago, acquired a company in Jamaica as part of our business diversification, portfolio diversification, and just as little as $2,500, $5,000 to move over to Jamaica to pay, some, investment costs and all that has been so tough, so difficult. It's embarrassing, very, very embarrassing, such that our staff in Jamaica actually believe that there's a problem back here. Not with the economy of Nigeria, but with the company. It is a very difficult. You restrict what you can do in terms of importation. You restrict what you can do in terms of service. You restrict how much you can lay your hands on in terms of doing business. I have raw materials that are import, and I know what I go through. Even with the broader chain, trying to pay, I cannot access funds with central bank. I cannot easily access funds with the border chain. It's impossible to physically carry cash across the border, across it is very, very difficult.
Yet you're optimistic that things are going to change.
I am very, very much so. Why? Because we are private sector. We have to do what we have to do, either to support government or go it alone.
Well, when I asked you about the indices that you're looking at, giving you this optimism, if we could outline them, what is it that the private sector needs to do to move in spite of the constraint you're having from the CBN and the policies?
Well, the policies, the private sector has to hope that the policies coming out of government going forward will be favorable in terms of the growing local economy. 1. 2, we expect that the professionals that will come in terms of coming up with the policy statement, the policy determining policy issues, will have been some of those that have experienced what we are experiencing, people from the real sector. And when this happens, you know as a private sector operator, which other way do you go? Which other way do you go? You must find a way to put your business right there in the survival mode. We have to work very hard to ginger the economy. Whether the indices the indices are right or wrong now, my hopes are that with all that we have seen so far, the anti-corruption stance, the tightening of the gaps and loopholes, hard work will be rewarded.
The fear here is the slow growth rate in the economy, which is so visible after this meeting. You just realized that from the NBS, that is the National Bureau of Statistics, saying that, 2015 growth at 2.6%. And there's a sharp drop from 6.2, which was witnessed in 2014. The fear here is really heightened when we look at so many kinds of policies that have been put in place, even the forex restriction we've just talked about, and how it's going to, bring business almost to a halt for some individuals. You just gave us a real life example of what is happening with your other businesses outside the country. What will be, because people should be talking about solutions. If we have a CBN and we have an economy, and for now we still don't have the cabinet, so let's look at the CBN. What should the CBN be doing to making sure that this is reversed pretty well? Going back by what Mark reminded us, the fourth quarter, which we are about starting from next week, can't possibly see any kind of significant growth compared to what we've seen in the last 3 quarters.
Maybe not immediately, maybe not right away, knowing that the past 4 quarters have been about spending money, settling down with elections, spending money towards election and all that. It is possible for us to start seeing, some improvement in terms of flow of investments somewhat towards the real sector now, or, refunding. We are not setting up new structures in terms of investment. We are just, kind of putting back funding in that direction. Now, my hopes are that 1 quarter will be enough. This last quarter of this year will be enough for us to see the effects before the middle of next year. At the beginning of 2015, we were very optimistic as well that, elections will be over and we will settle down and things will move. The first half of the year, my company was just, barely there. We were just able to cover or do as much as we did about the same time. Last year, there was no growth. As a matter of fact, there was a slight decline. And we are just praying and hoping and working hard that we're able to sustain what we have done last year, this year. Now, not too many companies can report that. A lot of companies, at least in my sector, IT services, have made losses. And the point is that a wise businessman will know that if you cannot be helped by the policies coming out of your economy immediately, you have to do something drastic. What we have done in Codeville is to say that we have to diversify our business portfolio. We have to do things to earn revenues, not only within Nigeria, but outside Nigeria. And we are doing that. If I cannot raise dollars, FX easily within Nigeria, well, I've gone to Zimbabwe, I've gone to Jamaica, I've gone to Kenya, and dollars will come in regarding this for us to be able to have, so I can pay whatever it is I need to pay from there.